Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
What's up, Cowboys Nation?
What is up, man? It is a Monday. That means it's time for Mike Tag and Jimmy D, first of all. But I am back from, it was a mini vacation. It was a long weekend. I wasn't really a vacation. It was a long weekend. Went up to Blue Ridge, got a little cabin up there. Even did a show with Eugene Lockhart. Just, he popped in. We talked to him the night before. He said he was going to come on. So, we do a show. And I was worried that, we're having some connection issues. Internet's not the best up there. But ended up having a fun time doing a show on Thursday night with Kelly and Eugene up there, and chilled a little bit, drove home, and now I'm back, Jimmy. So what's up with you, man? How was your weekend?
No, it was fun. So we two things about me. I think at least one of them I mentioned on the show. First thing, when I wake up on Sunday morning, from Sunday morning until 5 p.m. on Friday, I'm a saint. I don't touch alcohol. I'm just straight. And then, on the weekend, I do whatever I want and get crazy. The other thing about me, this, I don't like going in the water, right?
Yeah.
I love sitting by the water, the beach, lake, whatever. I'm afraid of getting eaten. I ain't about to get anybody. Sharks, alligators, eels, piranhas, I don't want Loch Ness Monster, none of that. So yesterday we were with some family up in Lake George, 2.5 hours north here, beautiful place. And an odd thing for a Sunday, they said, hey, why don't you have some beer? It's a beautiful day on the lake. Great. So a few beers in. Hey, why don't you jump off this 30-foot cliff into the lake? Okay, let's go. Let's do it. So now I'm jumping off a cliff into the lake. I'm getting pulled behind. So thank God I'm here. I got all my limbs. Nothing was bit off, and I survived, and I feel good about that.
Well, that's a good thing. So yours was a little bit better than mine. So my situation was we had a great weekend. First of all, great. If you haven't been up to Blue Ridge, North Georgia in the mountains, excellent. It's always a great time. Very relaxing. I'm driving home now. My wife's got a Jeep. And before we left, I always drove my truck up, and she's, I'm like, man, I'm putting miles on my car. Why don't we take the Jeep up, have a nice time, get the top down or whatever you do when you get up there. And whenever we drove it across the state to go to the East Coast, it would make this, if you hit something, man, it would go feel like you have a flat tire. So brought it to the dealers, they couldn't find anything. So went on some Jeep clubs, look around, and they said that they call it the death roll. And it's something with a car with either the front end or something that's jacked up. It could happen. It could be the tires. It could be all sorts of things. If you're at a high speed, you can hit just a small little bump and it'll just feel like your tires are all flat. So we thought we'd be okay. It happened to us twice on the way up, but when you lower your speed, it goes away. So You had to stay under 80. It's like Back to the Future, right? You got to stay under a certain, they got to go above it. We've got to stay below it. So I'm driving home and everything is cool, man. 30 miles to the Florida border. And I see these lights coming up from behind. And I'm going like maybe 7. When I look down, I was like, oh boy. Then I looked down, I was going like 76. I was like, man, you can't be pulling me over for that. So he pulls me over. I see him behind me. I'm talking to my daughter and I go, hey, I think I'm getting pulled over. She goes, what? I said, well, he ain't moving behind me, so I got to be pulled over. So I pull over and the guy comes up and it looked like Sheriff Buford D. Justice. And he said, you're doing I got you at the radar doing 88. And I'm like, 88? I said, I ain't going to argue with you. You got me. I mean, if that's what you say I did, then what am I going to do? But there ain't no way in hell I did 88. I'm just telling you, the car, if you ever been in a Jeep, you ain't driving 88 on the highway. Then when you have all those issues that I was having, I kept looking at my speedometer like crazy. And I was at 78 to 80. And gave me my ticket and sent me on my way. Man, I was so pissed. That's it. They got you at an overpass. I'm like 4 miles down the road. I mean, how can you prove it one way or the other? And I respect the law, so I'm not saying, I'm not saying anything about I'm not saying the guy, had it out for me because I had Florida plates and I'm in Georgia, but it just something didn't seem right, and So now I'm going to be out some money.
Well, what we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law. And
So
that not only is it the money, but you're driving home and you just want to get home. How much time did you waste doing that?
well, the thing I'll give them, it was done within 5 minutes. So I didn't waste any time on the highway. It didn't cut in my time, but see, then fight. But the problem is, I get it. Then fight it. It's in the middle of Georgia. I'd have to drive 5 hours, 4 hours up to go do it. I don't want to. I mean, that's where they get you. It's like, I don't want to go up there.
Right.
I spend more in gas going up and back in aggravation. So they got me, and there's nothing I can do about it. But like I said, and I'm not a speeder. That's a third speeding ticket I've had in my life. And I'm 40. How old am I? 47, 48?
Yeah.
What am I?
47.
47. I'm 47. Been driving since I'm 15. That's a third speeding ticket I got. And the first two speeding tickets I got, one was I was 16, and the other I was in my early 20s. So it's been a long time. Trust me. What did you say? Do I got to take some? Do I got to hire a lawyer here? Bush, trust me, after 6 months, they'll forget about it. Yeah, until I go up there and get arrested.
No, you know what it is? See, my thought is this. I disagree with Bud. You're going to go up there, you're going to try to fight it, and then it's going to be like the Greek council where right?
Hey, wait,
So,
but
that sucks.
usually like the cop would work with you and like, hey man, all right, I dropped it to like 80 or something like that. Man,
Yeah.
he wasn't moving. And the coincidence, that's why I'm wearing the 88, not only for Des Bryant, for Irvin, for all all the 88 club. I was doing 88 and a 70. So I had to, very coincidental. I had the Cowboys sticker on the back of my truck and he got me 88. I don't know. I think something's fishy's going
Good
on.
Falcons fan. And 88, that's the Back to the Future speed limit. That's when you go back to 1955 when you hit 88 miles an hour.
Is that what they're 88? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a good win. Hey man, I ain't letting it ruin my weekend, but we got a lot of things going on. So first of all, I'm bad at it, Jimmy. Hit that subscribe if you're new to the show. Send a little comment. Say, hey man, I'm new to the show. Also hit that like. If you're here in the chat now, man, just keep hitting that like. Help us out. But we've got obviously a lot of things planned. Tomorrow we are going to be live with Daryl Moose Johnston. We'll be talking some Cowboys, man, with one of the legends, one of the goats of the '90s teams. They made the Pro Bowl fullback position because of Moose Johnston, so he's coming in the cave. We're really excited about that. We got our fantasy football show, which I know Jimmy has some critiquing to do on that. We got the fantasy football show on Tuesday night. Kelly and I will be hitting it, I guess, live. I guess Thursday. We're going to be moving to Wednesday because of football, so we'll figure that out. I got to get with Kelly.
Yeah.
But Saturday, we got happy hour. We got Jimmy D. We got Kelly K9. You got myself. All you guys come watch the Cowboys kick off the preseason against the Jags. We'll be giving you play-by-play if you don't have it in your area. We'll be having a good time. We're going to be putting a link where you can pop in, come on the show, talk a little bit, talk some football, be very laid back, have a cold one, and have a good time. And then, of course, with my man Cuts by Jones, we're getting ever so close to that 2,000 subscriber, and we're going to have an awesome, awesome giveaway. We're hoping to do it at our tailgate party, which is going to be on the 17th of September. And you guys heard Eugene Lockhart. He said he's in. You got Fred's going to be manning the grill. I already checked with my man Mark, and everything is safe and sound with the tent, so that is good to go. So I mean we're ready to rock, man. This season's going to get started, and we're going to have some fun.
Now I needed to ask you. You said Moose is on. What time is that? What time is Moose on?
It's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. The thing you guys got to remember, man. Sometimes when you get these guys commit, and I tried to push for. Obviously you'd always love to do nighttime, but beggars can't be choosers, man. You tell me the time you're going to be there and I'm going to make it happen. So I got to take a lunch hour. So I got to go to work in the morning because we finally get in our office. And then I'm going to take my 11 o'clock lunch hour and he'll be on for like 30, 40 minutes. And then we'll have a great time, man. We'll have a great time. So
it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And like you were saying last week, everybody else needs to listen to it while they're on work time. You clock in. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. On company time.
And that you just put it on the computer, you play it in the background, a little background music and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk some 90s. We'll get some 90s in there, but primarily, he did the USFL. We've gotten two guys from the USFL on the Cowboys. Obviously, Turpin was a Pro Bowler we got from the USFL. And I mean, he ran that league. So really get some good insight on his thoughts on the USFL, but also the Cowboys 23 season preview. You're hearing all the hype. You're hearing all the noise. Have you ever seen people in the network news, sports news, overanalyze practice before?
It happens all the time. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. I've never
It's
seen it
just
to this extent
it's so
where they're
stupid.
keeping track of yards and touchdowns and interceptions and this and that.
Silly.
So it is it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, it is, and you know it is. They're trying to get people to tune in, but like you said last week, and I agree, you need everything you want is here on the Cowboys Cave Broadcast Network. We got fantasy football, we got real football, NFL football. I know we got some college football, we got
Uncle
baseball,
Cheech, if you
hockey,
wanna
Uncle
gamble, you
Cheech,
got Uncle Cheech
everything.
coming in.
Right, exactly. So it is crazy how they can break down and analyze practice games where the starters aren't even playing, or at most are playing 2 or 3 series. It's ridiculous. And there's been a lot of injuries. You see, there's been a lot and Josh Allen actually today ended up
Did he?
getting knocked out of practice for about 45 minutes. Second time in 2 weeks.
Wow. Well, I
Yeah.
see Parsons needs to slow up, man. He's hitting our quarterback a little bit, man. I don't know if I'm not I don't mind it. I mean, hey man, you got to play, but sometimes it's like, man, be careful. Be careful. We don't want, we don't need we've been very don't bark. We've been very good on my dog hadn't seen me all weekend, so she's not leaving my side. She feels I left her, so now she's hanging out with me. She's hanging out in the cave during the show. But knock on wood, the Cowboys, we've been very fortunate with injuries. And I'll be honest, like in the NFL overall, there hasn't been a ton. It hasn't been like a crazy number of injuries. You never want to see that.
No. Well, like I said, you had Josh Allen twice. I mean, he came back in and played, but still, you don't, if you're a Bills fan, you don't want to see that. And I don't want to see it either. Jeff
Yeah.
Okudah, who we picked up, the Falcons picked up from the Browns for a draft pick, he's out until at least week 4. I think Cleveland in their game last week, they lost 2 defensive backs in their game, one of them long term, and it's too bad when you see crap like that in the preseason.
You don't want to see, but my man Bubba Bolden from the U, you saw it. He had a nice pick, for the Browns. So hopefully he'll get he'll get a spot. And then you got Corn Elder. He's down in Miami because from the U, he got the Dolphins had Ramsey's hurt, so they're picking up. So maybe it's opportunity for some of these guys, make a roster, get yourself seen. So it's like we said, it's a business. It's a tough business, the NFL, but it's a business. So,
well, I'm glad I'm glad they went down to 3 games, 3 preseason games. Yeah. I don't see the need for 4, and there's just more chance of injuries. And again, they know who they're going to have with their 53-man roster. They know who it's going to be after 3 games. I don't see the need for it.
Yeah. Well, hang on 1 second. Jimmy, kill some time for 2 seconds. I forgot to send the we got Uncle Cheech.
Uncle Cheech.
So long. I just messaged him now. Hopefully
now the one thing I want to know, we haven't heard from Uncle Cheech in a long time. I know he probably can't disclose where he's been hiding out. I mean, I would like to know. Inquiring minds want to know, but I'm sure that he won't be able to disclose that information. But I'm hoping he joins us on Saturday night, because we know Uncle Cheech loves his little bit of Chianti, a little bit of Anizette, so I'm hoping he joins us on Saturday.
Yeah, we may see that. We may see Uncle Cheech. We're going to find out. I hadn't talked to him in a little bit. He just, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm ready to get going. We got to get this thing rolling." So I said, "All right, man. Football's here." I said, "I don't know if people are betting on preseason, but maybe you talk a little bit and kind of get everything ready. What his plans are, what he's thinking." So we'll definitely. You got to hear from Uncle Cheech. So
yeah, I miss him.
It's going to be good. So. Just want to get into it, and this is where we need help from the lovely people in the chat who's hanging out with us. We appreciate it, because this doesn't sell so well if you watch the show over and you want to comment. You can of course comment later, but it's better to be part of the show, right? So there's a little bit of there was a little bit of noise made. I watched a video, and it was by the Birds vs. Boys. They friends of the show.
Yeah.
And even Aiden, who's an Eagle fan, he was talking about Dak Prescott, and he's like, "Look, man, Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. I mean, he's a top 10 quarterback, this and that." So an Eagle fan commented and said, "Dak, he's never been a top 10 quarterback." So I laughed and I said, "Man, look, I just got to hear who's your top 10 because I want to see where this guy's coming from. Is he being sensible? Is he being this?
Yeah.
And his number one quarterback in the NFL is Jalen Hurts." I should have stopped there. I should have stopped there. But he had Tua, Geno Smith, and he had Kirk Cousins ahead of Dak Prescott. Like Dak Prescott wasn't even in the top 10. Those three were in the top 10. So, of course, everyone laughed at him and made fun of him. But what are you going to do? So I said, you know what? I got to be fair. In the cave, we got to be fair. So I put together my top 10. And I want to get it critiqued by you, Jimmy. You haven't seen it yet. I didn't share it with you, right? We haven't spoken. And all the great people in the chat, I didn't post anything on social media. So this is, see if this works. This is my top 10. So I got Patrick Mahomes number 1. I got Burrow 2, Josh Allen 3, Rodgers 4, Hurts 5, Prescott 6, Trevor Lawrence 7, Lamar Jackson 8, Herbert 9, Kirk Cousins 10. Now, this is going into the 2023 season. This isn't career. This isn't how they are all time. This is seeing what they did in 2022 and then going in. Now, let me show you what everything means. That way you know. So the arrow up means that they're on a high. They're peaking and they're getting going. Arrow down means they're kind of maybe starting to slide. Maybe this is the year they slide. They're Aaron Rodgers, he probably would have been 2, but now he's down to 4, so he's kind of dropping in the rankings. And the X is, I couldn't figure out what to use, but they're at the crossroads. And what I mean by that is they're top 10. Now's the time for them either to start moving up or moving down. And you look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen's always been looked at as a number 2. Sometimes people argue the number 1 quarterback, but he hasn't gotten over the hump, let's say, and had some tough playoff games, especially last season. Dak Prescott, he's put up the numbers, he's put everything up, but again, he's got to get over the hump. So he's kind of again at that crossroads. And then you got Justin Herbert. He just got paid. He's got all this talent. It's time for him to put up or shut up. He lost a bad game in the playoffs, getting beat out up like 21 or whatever they were. So that's my top 10. Am I way off, Jimmy? Is there anything you change in the chat? Is there anything you guys would change? What do you think?
Okay, so right off the top, we're in agreement on numbers 1, 2, and 3. All right, assuming Josh Allen doesn't keep getting blown up in practice, I think that's 1, 2, and 3. Me personally, I removed Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson from the top 10 for no other reason, but they will be hurt and they will miss a lot of time. I'm not rooting against them. I'm not trying to, because I hate Philadelphia or whatever else. They are just going to miss too much time. And if you're missing 5, 6 games, I don't know how you can be a top 10 quarterback. I don't see it happening. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, I'm all about that. Aaron Rodgers, I had Aaron Rodgers at 5, so we're pretty close. Now, here's my thing. I have on the bubble, because if I was to go to number 9, now I know I'm going to get a lot of heat on this one, but I've talked about it last year. I think Brock Purdy would be number 9.
Okay. Now, for another friend of the show, Malik Rozier from the U, him and I have a bet. He's got Brock Purdy being better than Dak Prescott in 23. So that's not far fetched, Jimmy. I'm not gonna kill you if you put Brock Purdy there. I mean, he's only played 5 games. That's
right.
That'd be my thing.
But my thing is right. They lost when he got hurt in the conference championship game. But look at the weapons that guy has. If not anything, he'd really have to F up big time. And if he melts down, then that's on me. I'll take the heat on it. But what I had on the bubble, see, number 10's tough. With Dak Prescott, I'm not going to say he's not a top 10, but it depends on who. Gallup was hurt last year, right? And then he came back toward the end of the season. Am I correct?
He was coming off an injury.
He's coming off an ACL, which is a big injury, and that's usually a full season recovery. He comes back strong, and with the new offensive coordinator, I think he is definitely a top 10 quarterback, and they build that offense around him. I don't know what is there any truth to the Cowboys looking at Zeke again?
I don't. I mean, I've heard it's been closed. I heard it
Okay.
might be. I mean, if the price is right, maybe they do something. I still think they have a little need there, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'll
Okay.
be honest with you.
Okay.
I think he's going to end up in New England. I think the Jets could be a possibility. I think he's going to end up in an AFC East, and it's going to be funny because we'll probably end up seeing him.
Well, and the only thing also with Tua, again, another wild card, because if he can stay on his feet and not get knocked out again, I mean, he's got weapons and he's a good quarterback.
He
It's
does. He does. But like that's what I look. I mean, Dak Prescott gets a lot of heat over last year, but when I look at the body work, that's why I kind of put the crossroads. So I mean, he's at that age now. He's going to have to elevate, and it's really elevating in the playoffs. It's not. I mean, his regular season's good, and his playoffs. Let's just be straight. It's elevating over San Francisco. He's played very well in his other playoff games. Just happens to be San Francisco. He shit the bed. Some people would say Lamar Jackson should be higher. Lamar Jackson, the only thing I'd say about Lamar Jackson, he didn't play a lot last year. Now remember, I'm going into 2023. So he didn't play well. He kind of, I hate to say it, quit on his team at the end. I'm not, that's just my opinion. I'm not, I don't know that to be factual. It
I
just
agree.
seemed weird. He had this mysterious injury. Playoff came and he was nowhere to be found. And they brought, the other guy in, and I think, he didn't do too bad. So Lamar Jackson, that's why he's top five talent all the way from his ability as a playmaker, quarterback. But I think when the legs go and the injuries mount up, I don't think he's going to be as good. Why I have Jalen Hurts up higher is because, he played really well. I mean, you can't, I mean, I'd be an Eagle fan not putting Dak Prescott, in agreeing that Dak Prescott's a good quarterback if I don't give the credit to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts played really well. Yeah, he runs, but he also threw the ball well. I mean, he played good. So I'm not gonna hate on him. Now he's got to repeat it. Now all these rankings are just for fun. I mean, they don't mean shit. Let's just be honest. So Jalen Hurts, but you got to give the credit that he had a very, very good season last year. He's got to be able to duplicate it. We'll see if he can do it. The schedule's going to be harder. No surprises. He's not going to be sneaking up on anybody. So it's, I think these are I think personally, after 1 and 2, you could probably throw all these guys in a blender and kind of pick out whichever one you want. I think you're splitting hairs when you start talking about all of them.
Now, the only thing is, and Doug actually took, when he said, Doug said, "Where's Dalvin going?" Well, with that being said, that's where I wonder if Kirk Cousins is going to have a little more heat on him. Who's running the ball now, right? So he loses that weapon, and he loses it. We've always said that the run sets up the pass. We've said that for years, and so I wonder how that's going to affect him. I mean, he had great numbers last year, but we'll see how that plays out.
Well, I mean, Kirk Cousins, the problem with him is playoff time, he doesn't show up at all. Big games, he doesn't show up. Primetime games, he doesn't show up. So he's just got a problem. But I was like, well, I'd put someone else at 10, and I couldn't really. I was trying to find Purdy was an option, but I was like, man, he only played 5 games. I mean, how can I, Kirk Cousins, if you look at his numbers and everything that he does, he's talent wise, I mean, his numbers are there. It's just, that's why I put an arrow going down. It's like, he's either got to step it up or he's going to be continuing to drop. And I think Trevor Lawrence, to me, if you look at someone on this top 10 who could make that leap, I think he's a guy that, that team's getting better. They're in a division that's favorable, to them a little bit. And he's a guy that might be able to make some noise. But like I said, it's all in fun. It was just, I did that, I got in that little Twitter thing with that comment. So I figured I'd do it. Maybe I'm way off. Maybe I'm over evaluating Hurts. I don't know. Maybe I'm over evaluating Dak, but I think Dak's anywhere between, you could put him at 5 to 8 or whatever if you wanted to as a quarterback. He still puts up monster numbers.
You know what it is? I want to get back to Trevor Lawrence real quick. Now, remember, they're getting Calvin Ridley this season, and I'm jealous. I mean, I wish he was still in the ATL.
Yeah, they said he looks really good.
I know. I'm so pissed off that we don't have him. Horseface has him, and that might bring. And I had Lawrence, me personally, at number 7. If it was me, I agree on that. But that can move up real fast.
Yeah,
real fast. Like I said, I don't really look at things till game 3. That's when you kind of get a real feel on everything once that third week comes. and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Now it'll be interesting, but it's fun. But like I said, I think like we talked about, Doug had mentioned about the big deal of picks and pride. I mean, it's ridiculous, and he is going against the best team, best defense. You're going to throw picks in practice. I mean, that's just the way it goes. But you're also going to throw a lot of touchdowns. He threw a lot of touchdowns against that defense. I'd be more concerned about my defense. If my quarterback was shredding in practice, I would have some major concerns about what my defense is going to be able to do. It's been back and forth, and that's what you want. There's been good, banter, some, a little smack talk, whatever you want to call it. And of course, Amita made a huge deal about that. It's just unbelievable. But that's a part of being in competition is you're going to be battling back and forth. You get it. So I'm not, I don't even worry about it. I don't.
You mean
worry.
like Travis Kelce punching somebody in the face last week?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. But talk about preseason. I think Doug might have mentioned it in there. I don't think they're going to be playing their major starters. We had Kyle Yeomans on, who's with DallasCowboy.com, and he said you're going to see like your back starters. You know what I mean? Like you might see Gallup in there, your third receiver. He might get in there for a few snaps. But he said you're not going to see like CD. You're not going to see Dak. You're not going to see Parsons. You're not going to see a lot of your big name guys in preseason. And with 3 games, they just, for whatever reason, a lot of teams opt not to do it. And I saw the Jaguars said they're going to play their starters some in preseason, but I guess we'll see what happens.
And if you're a Falcons fan like myself, you need Ritter out there. You need those guys playing a few series because we don't have time to screw around. I know you got to remember Pitts was injured most of the latter part of last season. So I need those guys clicking. So I'm down with them playing the first, quarter and a half against Miami.
Yeah. And Micah, there was a comment too, my Tyron getting smoked by Micah. I mean, I'm sure Tyron's winning his share. Micah's going to win his share. I mean, you're talking about two beasts, but I mean, let's also be honest. I mean, Tyron is still a top tackle when healthy, but I mean, he's a little long in the tooth, right? A little long in the tooth. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, did you see, I didn't realize this, but, talking about an NFC rival, 49ers, Bosa's holding out. I didn't realize that. Yeah. Yep. And they said it might go long-term. I guess we'll see what happens.
Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, more interesting, Jimmy, is we haven't seen this man in I don't know how long. I don't know how long it's been. Uncle Cheech he's been laying low. Now you guys got to understand he's a football guy. He's college pro. He's Vegas. I mean, all this training camp and all this stuff going on. He's doing whatever he's got to do to handle his business. But he is now in the cave. He's back. We're gonna find out if he's back weekly or is he just coming out of hiding. And let make sure we all know he ain't stiff and make sure he's still around so he can do these picks this year because we're gonna have to find somebody else. But we got Uncle Cheech is back in the cave. What is up, Uncle Cheech?
What's up, guys? Good to be back.
I
had a good off season. Went to a lot of fights, bare knuckles, MMA. I went to the Spence Crawford fight.
Oh man, were you surprised at that fight?
I was.
I gave credit real quick. I got a text from Uncle Cheech. He said, "Hey, Spence didn't make weight. I'm going to go Crawford. That's a bad sign." And or had trouble making weight, I should say. And boy, he took a beating. I thought it'd be a little bit more competitive, not to jump too far back.
Yeah, I was disappointed. My friend Salvador lives out, the one who had the up and coming welterweight that got knocked out in the first round in Philly. I told you the story.
Yeah.
He moved out to Vegas now. I got a nice condo. So invited me, Carmenuch, Vinny Smaldone. We went out there. Had nice seats for the fight. I was disappointed, but I was telling Vinny, I said, hey, Spence he looks a little apprehensive, looks a little scared when he was coming into the ring.
Yeah.
And that kind of troubled me. And then when he got knocked down in the second round, I said, I don't think he's going to make it.
That was a jab. I mean, how many guys you can see got knocked down with a jab?
Yeah, I thought we'd get a better fight than that, but
yeah,
that's why they fight.
Well, we saw Thomas the Hitman Hearns. I saw him in the crowd. That was good to see.
And Tyson was there. Talked to him a little bit.
Yeah.
And had a good time.
No, that's
Good
awesome.
off season.
Now
I got to tell you
Cheech.
a funny story later after I get done here. But for all the new people on here, I'm going to go over what I do. I'm going to be picking 4 games each week, college and pro. One's going to be locked. The other one's going to be upset special. And then I'll have 2 more. I'm going to give you a little, if you want to make money this year, I'm going to go over these few little rules I have that you should follow. And I'm going to say them again when I come back right before
These are important rules, so make sure you listen up close.
When college comes back, I'll be back again when I give my first picks. First, most importantly, be disciplined. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose. Stay away from the parlays. Bet one team per week. One team, whether it's 500, 50,000, one team. Listen to what I'm telling you. Don't try to recoup your losses. Bet the one team. Don't drink and gamble. I'm just telling you now. I used to have a card game at my house every Tuesday night. And I'd buy a couple cases of Falstaff beer and a couple bottles of Wild Turkey. And I had the guy, do you want a beer? Or, and then I have a beer and play. And anybody want to chase it down with a little Wild Turkey liquor? And the one who did the chasing down after 3-4 chases, he's drawing on inside straights and stuff. So I went from a disciplined card player to a fish. You know what I mean?
And now, if you guys, and to all the newbies who aren't familiar with Uncle Cheech, let me tell you something. He helped me pay my mortgage last year. He helped me get $100 bottles of wine. I got the Macallan 18 Scotch. You listen to Uncle Cheech, and he ain't going to steer you wrong. Trust me.
One more thing. If you can't control yourself, you call 909-931-9056, and they'll give you help.
No, but Uncle Cheech is going to give you guys some great picks. He's going to be on every Monday. It's a staple. And you guys knew we've got so many new subscribers coming to the show, so some people may not know Uncle Cheech, but that's what you want to do. Now, Uncle Cheech, a couple of people said it looks like you got a new hat. I don't know if you got a new Kango. They're complimenting
I got new cigars.
a new cigar. Someone said you put on a few LBs. You've been out. You've been eating a little bit while we've been on the cruise.
All season it's been hot as hell down here, South Florida. Been out by the pool every day until the rain comes. Me and Maria, Maria LeBay sits out there and eating, drinking, a couple of beers. I put on a couple pounds.
Well, no worries. Well, more importantly, we're going to have you on. You're going to see Uncle Cheech all over the place. We might even get Uncle Cheech with you. We got to introduce Uncle Cheech to Eugene Lockhart. We got a Eugene Lockhart on the show on Monday and have a good time with that. That'll be a lot of fun. So
I got to tell you, I lost my faith in mankind here. I got to tell you the story before I go. What you call it? Joe Provino's wife calls me up. My Joey's got to have surgery. I said, I said, what's the matter? He's having trouble with his gillions. I said, all right, well, I'll come up and see him, I go up there, go up to the hospital, sitting down talking. After a few minutes, I said, hey, Joey, I said, where the hell are your teeth? He said, I don't know. He said, before the surgery, they made me take my teeth out. I put them in my little container next to the bed. I came back and they're gone. I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, I came back, teeth were gone. I said, he reported to the nurse, this and that. He said, oh, yeah, I said, gee, I said, oh, well, we'll just keep looking. So anyway, how after surgery, they make you walk up and down and up and down, up and down. So me and him were walking. Another guy's coming the other way, and he smiles at us. What you call it says to me, Joey says, hey, Cheech, I hate to say this, but those look like my teeth. I said, what? I said, you sure? He says, I'm telling you, they're my teeth. So I said, wait right here. I said, I'll go straighten the guy out a little bit. So I called him and said, hey, Wild Yo. I said, my buddy Joey down here says, you just smiled at him with his teeth. He said, oh, the guy's crazy. He's full of shit. I said, no. I said, I've known Joey all my life. He said, you're smiling at him with his teeth. So I told him, look, I said, I'm going to go back to Joey. I said, if them teeth are back in the cup by his bed, I said, I'll forget the whole thing. But if not, I'm going to have the cops and the dentist over here to identify his teeth. So I'll be damned. I said, we go back to the room and there are the teeth sitting in the bowl.
You got to
I never heard of that.
choppers back. That'd be
People
terrible.
get their own. People steal somebody's teeth.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, yeah, worth a few bucks.
Yeah, I said I couldn't believe it.
Oh man. Well, hey, at least he got the teeth back. That's more important. But
Yes.
another thing, I mean, it's probably too late to do it this year. But we get a lot of requests saying, "What do we got to do to get Uncle Cheech at the Cave tailgate? Get him out of that South Florida for the weekend." You know, we have our first annual Cowboys Cave tailgate party. Got to get you out there one
Yeah,
night.
we'll see about going to Dallas. I can
Get a little trip. Get a little trip.
You got to go incognito.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, they got to know Uncle Cheech.
They know
I got my own thing.
They know Uncle Cheech, but more importantly, Jimmy and I were talking before we let you go. We were talking about the fight this last weekend, if you want to call it that, with Jake Paul. Did you happen to watch that at all?
Joke. That guy, his opponent couldn't box, way out of a paper bag. I said, you put Crawford in against Jake Paul, and he'll beat him senseless.
Well, the guy he fought was an MMA guy. He's never boxed in his
Yeah,
life.
and he don't fight boxers. The one boxer he fought, he lost.
Yeah.
Well, and apparently they are gonna. The next thing is him and Diaz are gonna do an MMA type match. Is what's supposed to
Well, if
happen.
they fight
next.
MMA, they gotta twist him up like a pretzel.
See, I
Oh,
think
man.
so too. I think if they go MMA, I think Diaz is going to hurt him real bad.
Jake Paul is a big dude, though, man.
He's a big
He's
dude,
a
but
monster.
But Diaz, I mean, he fights at MMA, man. You got no gloves on, man. It's a different
Down
game.
on the ground,
Yeah.
the guy gets you down on the ground. Now you're the same size.
I mean, I thought he was gonna knock his ass out in the first round.
First
man.
round.
flurry.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one?
I thought Jake Paul was gonna knock out Diaz in the first round. He had a big flurry
I
going
mean,
on.
the guy's a bump. The bump.
That tomato can.
Well, I told you, put him in
Are you
the
trying to
bump.
say Are you trying to say that Jake Paul's opponents are handpicked?
They're handpicked. I told you, put him in there with Crawford. Crawford's what, 40 pounds lighter than him.
Crawford's
not Jake Paul sensitive.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Put him with so many lefts, he'll be begging for that right.
No, I agree.
So,
So hey,
with Joe Zack, got to put him in there.
we got important couple announcements. I don't know if you heard. Maybe you'll be tuning in. We got Daryl Moose Johnson coming into the cave tomorrow morning.
Oh, outstanding.
But Saturday we got the happy hour, and I know we got to be careful with happy hour. I don't want you staggering around, but we're having a little show. The Cowboys opening preseason, all really NFL preseason's kind of opening up, this week. So we're going to do a little happy hour, hang out, have a couple cold ones. People can pop in and out. So if you're not doing nothing on Saturday, come pop in for a few minutes, say hello to the fine people. They'd love to hear from you.
All right, I'll do that.
Definitely
Yes.
check it out.
Look forward to it. I've been waiting all these months for the season to get going here. So.
I know.
We're going to be off to a good start.
Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Remember everything I told you. And for the people that didn't listen, I'm going to go over them again before I give you my first picks. You follow that simple formula, you'll make money this year. There's with the playoffs and Super Bowl at 20 some odd games.
No,
You're going to make money. Listen to what I'm telling you. You don't want to break even. You want to make money.
it's all about making that paper. So you listen to Uncle Cheech and you get it right. Now, is it too early for your Super Bowl prediction, or you want to wait a few weeks to see some preseason?
I told you who I bet.
Who do you got?
Now, I bet 1,000 on each, and I got them both at 30-1.
Who did? Was
Make
it
it
the
to the
line?
Super Bowl? I told you last time. I said Going to be Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's what you're betting. You're betting on that for value. I'm talking about if you got a gun up, you got a gun to your head. Who's going to the Super Bowl? Is it too early to tell?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I really like the Jacksonville team.
Wow.
I think the NFC, you got 3-4 good teams. I think the AFC is loaded, in my opinion. I mean, the AFC East there. Every team could be in the playoffs. Dolphins.
No, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
But,
so,
you don't want me to pick your team, do you? Jinx you.
No, you're a jinx. You're a known
He's
jinx.
a jinx.
I already
I
told
think
you
the AFC
you like
is gonna
coffee cake. I got to
Let's
put
try
it.
to get coffee cake.
I saw your quarterback rankings, and I think he's going to have a big year. Horse face.
You think Trevor Lawrence? I got him on the rise. So do you?
He might look like a horse's ass by the time the year goes.
So we got Dallas and KC in the Super Bowl. Whoever else in the chat, who's your Super Bowl predictions? We'll get those.
KC, Dallas. It all depends on the quarterback play in the playoffs again. Once again, they got the talent to get there, without a doubt.
We got McCarthy. You think McCarthy can? He's going to put his influence on the offense. I think he's going to.
I understand McCarthy's not throwing the ball though.
Yeah, but you got it's putting your guys in positions to be successful, working towards your strength, and that's where his money can be made, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, Dak throws a nice deep pass. He's got the deep game. I think a lot of the problems they had was the Y option. They had different option routes and this and that they were doing with the receivers. I think he's going to simplify things with the West Coast a little bit, Texas Coast, a little spin on it. I like Pollard. I'm worried a little bit after Pollard if Malik Davis steps up. I think Deuce Vaughn, I know a lot of people are making fun of him because he's 5'5", but, I mean, he ran big against big talent. So I would not.
I saw him in college.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good.
I could go with that. I don't think Kansas City is going to get there.
You don't think so?
It's either going to be Jacksonville or Cincinnati's not going to let it slip away this time.
Hey, Uncle Cheech, what do you think because I've had a little debate here. What do you think about the Falcons at least winning the NFC South?
That's the same division as who?
Saints,
Bucks, and Panthers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got a real good shot at winning.
It's a terrible division. Terrible division.
It is.
Hey, get me in the playoffs. That's all I care about.
You don't apologize for it.
All depends on it's all going to depend on who's hurt, who's healthy near the end of the year. That's the whole key to it all.
That
the quarterback stays healthy. You get there. The quarterback goes down, you're in trouble.
It changes everything. So last thing, Uncle Cheech, I know you're a Miami fan, so I had Malik on. We talked about the actually, we might have did it through Twitter. I don't think we talked about it on the show, but this whole realignment thing's taking place. He's pushing for Miami to go to the Big Ten. What do you think about that?
They got things so screwed up. Who's that guy? Jim Gray or whatever that idiot's name is. He was talking about that on the news, I think, yesterday.
Yeah.
They're really screwing up college football with all this.
Well, that's changing everything. But I think the Big Ten's a good spot for Miami.
No,
you got some rivalries, Ohio State and Miami.
I think so too.
I mean, they travel well, all those teams. You get better, better matchups. I think it'd be I think it'd be a great move for Miami because Clemson's leaving, Florida State could be leaving. The ACC is going to be
done. Pac-12 is done. You got them teams going to the Big Ten now. Yeah. Oregon or Big 12, wherever the hell they're leaving the Pac-10 anyway. Anyway, you cut it.
Yeah.
I just want to watch the games. I don't care where the hell they go.
Well, it's just interesting. So, but anyway.
But it is. It's crazy.
All right, Uncle Cheech. We will see you. Are you back now? Are you back? Are you going to be?
Well, I'll be back. I'll come back the week before the college season starts.
Okay. College. So Labor Day weekend, right around in there.
I'm going to give you my college picks for the week, and then we'll take it from there. And then I'll be on every week after that. I'm blind in one eye. I can't see out of the other. I got to go to the doctor Thursday.
Oh, you're going to Dr. Caldwell?
I can't see. Matter of fact, that's who I'm going to.
Are you?
Dr.
Excellent.
Cole.
Good
Like the jerky boy. I can't
World
see
now.
so good.
All right, Uncle
Hey, Uncle
Cheech.
Cheech, we want to
How are
see
you?
you Saturday. We want to see you Saturday
We
here.
pop in
Oh,
Saturday.
I'll
Yeah,
be here
please.
Saturday.
All right.
I'll be here for sure. Promise.
All right. We'll see you,
Beautiful.
Uncle Cheech.
All right. Take care.
Parents
boys.
love you.
Ciao.
All right, see you. All right. Bye. We got Uncle Cheech
Yeah.
there. That was good. He messaged me, said, "Hey, man, I'm ready to at least come on and get things going. At least make an appearance." I said, "People are always asking about it. Where the hell Uncle Cheech go? Want to make sure he's all right."
I would have brought it up. I know he's not a big baseball guy. So let me ask you, what was a better fight? Was it the Jake Paul fight or the Jose Ramirez Tim Anderson fight the other night?
I
When
tell you what,
Ramirez drilled him.
that the funniest thing on that fight was he slid in. There must have been a backstory. If you know the backstory, when I'm done, fill me in. But he slid in, and then they were kind of looking at each other, and the umpire got in the middle, and he was just like, "Hey," he went like this, and then he moved out of the way, like the referees do that. Hey, man, go at it. And usually, you don't see that in baseball where they're lined up going one on one. Usually, the mob comes, then they start swinging after everyone's there. So. Was there a backstory to why? I mean, it seemed odd to start fighting over the slide. It wasn't that bad of a slide, unless I missed something.
If there was a backstory, I don't know what it is. All I know is Tim Anderson, was it yesterday? He started going crazy on social media, just carrying on about this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, I mean, he's probably embarrassed. I get it, but I would have avoided the social media. He was just posting one after the other yesterday.
What did he say?
No, you just all sorts of stuff like this ain't over. No, nobody knows what this shit's all about. And
From a look of it, his chin's a little suspect. He may want to
right. Maybe
it wasn't that big of a shot. He didn't hit him that hard. I mean, it kind of grazed him. It wasn't like he just cleaned up hit him. You know
what? Maybe he's the one who stole the teeth. Maybe he needed the teeth from the hospital room.
He might have.
He might
have.
Exactly. Oh, look, a bottle of amaretto. You know what? I love amaretto.
Oh yeah.
I like all that Italian shit.
But yeah, that was interesting. So now,
bizarre.
What's going on with baseball? You got the Orioles. I guess they're first now. The Yankees are you guys doomed? Is it over?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're 12 games back. Boston's half a game behind us. I don't see right now. It's just time to clean house. Our front office sucks. Cashman sucks. We need to get rid of Boone. There's no reason right now to keep things going as they are. It's highly unlikely we're going to make the playoffs at this point. I never say never. There's still games left, but I don't see it happening. Aaron Judge comes back. We lose 9-7 yesterday to the Astros, right? Tonight, we got Garrett Cole starting against the White Sox. Should be a winnable game, but with us, you never know, right?
No.
The White Sox suck. They're worse than us.
What's up with the Rangers? Someone asked about the Rangers. What are they looking like, Jimmy? You're the baseball expert on the show.
New York Rangers or baseball?
No,
Texas. No, they're in first place. They're a good team.
And they're 2.5 up over Houston.
Yeah. Yes.
I just looked it up.
They're a good team. Wow. Yeah. Yep. No, they're a good team. I know Texas has it going on.
This is the thing. They always talk about big market team. They got all the money, and I'm looking. Texas Rangers are in first. Twins are in first. Orioles are in first. Obviously, the Braves. Milwaukee Brewers are in first. The Dodgers. I mean, that's big market, but all West is big market teams. But you have a lot of teams that aren't, the big money guys that are leading the divisions.
No, I'm telling you, especially Baltimore. I thought Toronto would be the biggest. Well, first of all, I didn't think we'd be 12 games back at this point, but I thought it would be Toronto running away with the division if not for us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So anyway, it's crazy. The Dodgers. Probably consistently, in my opinion, right now, the best team in baseball. I know some people might fight me on that, but Texas
more than the Braves,
the team, huh? Yeah, I think so. I think so consistently. Yeah,
the Braves are running away. Boy, the Mets, they're 21 games back.
Yeah, jeez. No, I know that the Braves have more wins than the Dodgers, but the Braves division. Come on,
look at the A's are 34 games back. They won 32 games and they're 34 games back.
Who's that? Who's 34 games back?
The A's.
Yeah, the A's.
Are they going to Vegas? Is that
That is the rumor. Yeah. I tell you what, man, the Knights started that, and then the Raiders, and now you got the A's coming up next, and then eventually there'll be basketball there too. I know the NBA runs the D League out of out of the Thomas and Mack Center there.
Yeah.
So you'll see an NBA team there in the next few years.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. And then just some NFL news and nuggets, right? So Purdy, like you talked about, top 10. They said he's good to go. He's going to be. They said he's going to be starting the season. You know, he should be able to go from the start. So we'll see what happens there. You got Kareem Hunt's visiting the Saints because you got Kamara suspended, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Cowboys were having some kicking woes. They said the kickers weren't doing that well. They cut the veteran guy that they brought in, Vizcaino, if I'm saying his name right, and then they got Aubrey from the USFL, and I guess he's outplayed them. But I don't know what it is with kickers and Cowboys, but lately it's just like they I don't want to say they go up on the cheap, but they just go with. I mean, they've got guys out there. Some veteran guys that they could bring in, you know, guys that have, you know, that done it. Crosby's been good. The what's his name who was in San Francisco, Robbie Gould. I mean, there's guys out there that, you know, bring him in and see what happens. But I don't know, man. The thing is, these games come down to 3 points so many times, and and again, maybe this kid will end up being a stud and he'll be like Dan Bailey. We didn't know Dan Bailey was, and he ends up having, you know, pretty good career with the Cowboys. He was like our last main guy that was there. I just don't know what it is, why we're, you know, it doesn't cost that much for a kicker. It's not like they're really expensive, a couple $1 million, but,
and to your point, you're right. These games do come down to 3 points, right? So you got to have somebody who's got the leg, who's going to kick a 50-yarder, and who's consistent, who isn't going to buckle under the pressure, right? You know, remember the big deal out of Janikowski? Wasn't he like the last big
he was first
round draft pick for a kicker, and he got himself into trouble and all this and that.
Oh yeah,
you know,
we ran into him at the water park in Orlando one time. Big dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's huge.
Yeah, he's a big dude. But you know, the thing is, you know, people laughed at them like, oh, they get it. But I mean, he was an unbelievable kicker at Florida State, right? He had big leg, this and that. And these games, they come down to the kicker. How many games come down to the kicker? Think of the Super Bowls. You know, how many Super Bowls did Brady get because of you know, the kicker that he had, Vinatieri? You know, making those clutch kicks. I mean, it hurts when your kicker misses a field goal. It can just change the momentum. It changes the morale. It changes everything. I mean, the Bills have lost 4 in a row. If Norwood hits that kick, maybe they win 2 of those 4 Super Bowls. They weren't going to beat the Cowboys. Let's not kid ourselves. But maybe they could have done something against Washington. You never know. But it just changes things so much, man. I don't get Dallas's thinking, man. Maybe they'll be right. Maybe they'll prove us wrong, but I don't know.
And to your point, look what Morton Anderson did for the Saints. Morton Anderson kicked the Falcons into the Super Bowl. I mean, you got guys who are just money, and you need that. I mean, I'm looking at the Falcon now. Now, granted, I can't tell you exactly how many points. We lost 4 games last year by less than a touchdown. I think 2 of them were like within 3 points. 2 games, we're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So to your point, and Younghoe Koo, our kicker, he's a good kicker, but you know, shit happens. You know, you need money.
I'm trying to get Martin Gramatica on the show. I'm working on it. He's from Tampa. So I'm really, because I'd love to get to understand the kick, because it is just such a mental position. It's all mental. Like, all these guys can kick. I mean, you've seen them kick, but it's just like, I was at that Tampa Dallas game with Maher, and I mean, the dude could not make an extra point, and it got to a point where we're beating the hell out of Tampa, so the crowd didn't really care, but they were even like feeling bad for this guy, and like the whole place erupted when he finally made one, and then this and that, and it was painful to what it was painful to watch.
Well, and you know what it is? You get some athletes and maybe other, you know, roles in life where people just get a mental block. Remember, now we're going years back. Remember Steve Sachs, the second baseman?
Oh yeah,
right. He Dodgers, Yankees. He overthrew the first baseman 20% of the time. I mean, way over, and it just became a mental block. So some guys just have the mental block, or like you said, kickers are a different breed. They're like goaltenders in hockey. They're like pitchers in baseball. It's very similar, where they have these little nuances and all these, you know, stupid things that they got to do. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, Dan Bailey, man. Yeah, them could be
Dan
crazy.
Bailey,
He was good with the. I mean, he was money with the Cowboys, man.
superstitions. That's the word I
Yeah,
was looking for. Superstitions.
he was money with it, but more than money is tomorrow night. Well, we got two things. It's 2 for Tuesday, so you got your morning covered. We got Daryl Moose Johnston. I mean, I don't know how. I don't need to say much more than that. You're talking about 3-time Super Bowl champion, NFL on Fox, great broadcaster. Everything he's done with the USFL. He's going to be coming in the cave. We're gonna have a lot of fun there. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be 10 a.m. Cowboys time, 11 a.m. East Coast time, and then Tuesday night, you saw the fantasy football show. They had some technical issues. So my man Jason, I don't know where the hell he was at. It looked like Vince was in the cave. Vince is talking about the Cowboys, so that's going to be a problem with me. I had to come in there and straighten him out once, but hopefully he's gonna check himself. And then Danny, hopefully Disco D's got his mic and all that situated. Go watch the first 32 seconds of the first show.
Well, hopefully he mutes the mic in certain circumstances.
No, of course. My namesake Mikey is going to be, he's going to be bringing it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So
it is.
Tuesday night, definitely check out that show. They're a great group. They're funny, but they also know a lot about fantasy football. So if you're looking for your drafts and this and that, and then another selfish promo is, your boy right here is on Cameo. I've done quite a few the last few weeks. If you guys are doing draft orders, you're doing anything fantasy football, smack talk, you need me to take care of one of your opponents, you can just go on Cameo. I'll hook you up. I do great. You get your money's worth on my Cameo. You go look. Yeah, you see the examples of my work. I don't shortchange nobody when it comes to that. So it's a lot of fun, man. Football season's here, so we all got to be hyped about it, right?
No, it is. And what's what we got tomorrow? You said Moose tomorrow morning, 7 p.m. tomorrow. The fantasy football, and then
we got Kelly and you got K9 and Tag. I don't know if it's Wednesday or Thursday. We got to figure that out. But more importantly, Saturday you get the whole crew together.
Happy hour, baby.
Some fantasy football, but maybe some guys from that show are going to pop in the cave every now and then. But it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. And you might see us in rare form that day. And I don't know if, Mike's the tech guy here. Maybe, if anybody wants to join in, maybe we can pull him in, from the chat.
That's the whole thing. We're going to put the link on there. And then you guys from your phone, all you got to do is click it and go. And you can come in for a few minutes, talk some smack. If you don't like one of us, you let us have it. You can hang up and we can't even do anything about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be very laid back. If you don't have the ability to watch the Cowboys preseason game, we're going to have it on. So I'll give you the play-by-play. Kelly will tell you what's going on. So you guys will get a firsthand look. And if anyone else has it, they jump in and we talk about the game, talk about the plays. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be happy hour. It's going to be happy hour, and it's going to be getting this football season started. We gave you a taste. You got the Hall of Fame. We had Chuck Howley's son. You saw his son do a great job at the Hall of Fame speech honoring his father. But we had him in the cave. We got all the stories in the cave. So if you miss that, you can go back in the playlist and you can get the story of the latest Hall of Famer and for the Cowboys, Chuck Howley. Of course, DeMarcus Ware. He did a great job. Man's got chops too. He did the national anthem and everything.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool, actually. I took a little bit of heat, but I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. No, it was. We're going to do a little live stuff, but it's hard. The thing I'll say about the internet and stuff when you're at the stadium, even though I'm an AT&T customer, you think I'd have great service there. It gets a little crazy. So definitely check it out. So anyway.
So
I've been driving for 8.5 hours. I got sleep.
God bless you, man.
I got to chill. So anything else that you got, Jimmy?
No, I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning. I can't wait to hear the Moose Johnson. Like I told you last week, back in the day, that was my favorite Cowboy player. And no, man, it's going to be a great week. Happy hour. Looking forward to that. And that's about it, man. Not much else happening.
All right, man. Well, we'll get out of here. I want to thank all you guys in the chat, all you guys listening live, hanging out with us, man, taking an hour out of your day to hang out with myself and Jimmy D. It means a lot. It'll mean even more if you hit that like button. Even more if you ain't subscribed, you subscribe. But no, I'm just kidding, man. We're having a good time, and this is, like I said, all you got to do is, I know, Fred. I know. we're having a good time, but I appreciate all you guys, man. This is like such a good time and stress relief and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow morning, lunchtime on my time. Come see Moose Johnson, and then at night you see the fantasy football. You guys, Jimmy, take it away. I'm done.
All right, listen. Thanks again, everybody. Like Mike said, looking forward to hanging out. I saw some Falcons questions. We'll talk about that Saturday, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a better.
We got
time
like
to talk about that.
4 hours tomorrow, Saturday. We can go talk about everything.
Exactly. So,
Almost.
but have a great short week, everybody, and we'll see you during the week.
You guys take care.
Eagles getting ready, because you might not like it, but you will learn to love it, because we are the best thing going today. Now can you?